Okay, hi. So this is vlog number 8, for chapter 8. This chapter discussed video games, and it's actually kind of crazy because I personally never really got into video games when I was growing up. I I feel like I grew up in a very good stage of like where kids were still playing outside, but it was still the introduction of video games. So a lot of my friends played a lot more video games than I did. I had like the classic like DS games and stuff like that, but I never had like an Xbox or a Wii or anything like that. So this one was a little bit harder for me to relate to. However, I do think it has some really good ideas. And to be honest with you, I didn't even refer to video games as a type of media, which is crazy because it definitely is like a huge part of media. But a couple of the pointers that I wrote down for this chapter are video games are, or most important things about this chapter and about video games in general is that video games are profitable, which is true. You see, they literally have GameStop stores and the App Store even like on your phone. It's so easy to access them nowadays. Um, Gaming fans are loyal, meaning like if you're loyal to one game, like I know a big example that I thought of when thinking of this was the um, NBA game. I forgot what it's called. 2K. I don't even know what it's called because I'm not like yeah. Anyways, but like video game fans are loyal, and that's something that I will give them, and it's so true is that video games are addictive, but their fans are loyal, and it's a interesting type of media. Video games are fast becoming one of mass media's juiciest sources, which is true because you can make a video game out of literally anything. Like, again, a huge one is the App Store, like the App Store games, and you can play a video game anywhere on your phone, wherever. They spend 2 times more money. Another good thing about video games is that their low production costs, meaning that they spend more 2 times more the money to market the video game than they do to actually create it. And I have heard that, excuse me, video game creators make really good money. So to think of that, it costs more to market it rather than to create it because I feel like so much goes into a video game, and marketing video games is really difficult because I know that there was a like a in 2000 in the 2010 or something like that there was a big ad campaign that came out that video games were ruining our minds and ruining our brain cells and everything like that, so people kind of not shied away from them, but people became less interested in them. And now I think it's a big thing that like going outside is more like video games have grown into not just video games but grown into like have the addictive source of like social media in that way, because yeah, video games, like I said before, are pretty addictive, and it's easy to get caught into that, and that's how they catch you again by manipulating your mind. Most video games make no real claims that convey the truth, meaning that like if you have a video game about basketball, if you have a video game, a violent video game, like it's not necessarily the truth. It literally strictly, rather than just like for social media and marketing purposes, it's literally just for marketing, like just for entertainment purposes only. Many games develop studies which audiences want to attempt to give it to them. Many game developers study what audiences want and attempt to give it to them. Meaning, like surveys are out there about everything. Surveys are out there about like what kind of games people want to play. Like, I think that's why, like, you look on the App Store and there's a list of every single. There's literally a list of the top video games in the world today, and they do that by researching people and their like how video games are marketed. Again, um, on the discussion of if they're productive or not, they argue that they waste our time. However, they do challenge our brains. They increase your hand-eye coordination. Um, they do lead to procrastination, and they invade our dreams, which is true. I do believe that they kind of invade our reality, and it kind of challenges our perception on reality versus video games, because I know that that's very like it can suck you in, and that's kind of the dangerous part of video games. The last thing on this chapter, it said that proceed with awareness, meaning like don't consume too much of it. Same thing that we did with social media or with like media outlets, is don't consume too much of it, otherwise it'll start to have some long-term effects on you. But proceed with caution and enjoy it and just have fun with it. And that's kind of my thoughts on this week. Kind of all over the place again, but yeah, I never thought of video games as a media source, but I guess it is, and that's really cool to think about because that is a whole other opens up a whole other gate to media.